They discovered it, they read it, and they applied it. It's the golden thread that connects the titans of the self-development industry, the source that spawned millions of millionaires, the original blueprint to success.
Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill.
Think and Grow Rich.
Napoleon Hill, Think and Grow Rich. It's a classic. A classic.
And I love Think and Grow Rich. I love it. It's right here. I mean, it's one of my favorite books of all time.
Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill.
It takes a burning desire, a vision, a goal.
If you are considering joining a program where you get to learn how to affect someone else's life, there is absolutely no better institution than the Napoleon Hill Institute to help you get to that next level.
We are on a mission. We are on a mission to transform lives all over the world. Our goal is to impact billions of lives and to disrupt the self-help and personal development industry.
Join us at the Napoleon Hill Institute, and let's change the world together.
From the dawn of civilization, humanity has been driven by an innate desire to strive, to achieve, and to leave a mark on the world. Consider the hustle and bustle of modern life, a whirlwind of activities, choices, and distractions. Amidst this chaos, having a definite purpose is like a guiding star. It's the golden thread that weaves through our days. In a time where instant gratification often takes precedence, definiteness of purpose reminds us of the power of sustained focus. And it's the reminder that we are not merely spectators in the theater of life. We are the authors, directors, and stars of our story. With a definite purpose as our guiding principle, we can shape our narrative and choose our destiny.
Okay, here we go. Welcome, everyone. Welcome to Napoleon Hill's Success Formula. My name is Scott Edwards. I'm one of the principal teachers here at the Napoleon Hill Institute. And I just want to welcome everyone streaming in from all over the world. We have people on Facebook. We have people on YouTube watching right now. And I want to share with you the formula. We're going to actually go through the formula today. I was putting together some slides today, and I was thinking, I was told that the secret of this book, I was told this, that the man who studied this book more than anyone told me what the secret of the book is, actually before I started reading it. And we were at Napoleon Hill's, the Napoleon Hill Foundation in Virginia not too long ago, and we were discussing the secret of the book. A lot of people still don't know what the secret is. That is the formula. And the team, and if I could ask the team just to put the banner down just for a second, just when I go into the slides, I just want to go through what the main secret of this book is. And it's all about desire and purpose, and we've got an amazing story about desire and purpose. So we could take that banner down, please, Lillian, and then I can get into the slides. And I just want to encourage everyone to, if you have any questions about anything that we share today, I really want you to write your questions in the comments. We can see the comments coming through, so we're going to answer your questions for you today. But this book, it was written in 1937, and today it is still responsible for more millionaires than any book that has ever been written. Now, let me just get my slides open. There we go. We're good. So, and I want you just to type this into Google. It was interesting. I typed this into Google. What book is responsible for more millionaires than any other book written? I typed this into Google just an hour ago, and this is the book that came up. How many millions of books have been published all over the world? And this book that was written in 1937 is still responsible for more millionaires than any other book ever written. I have been studying this subject for 16 years. I got into this very young. I got into this information when I was 13. And this book, it doesn't matter what self-help book you go looking for, you are never going to find anything better than this book. That is my promise to you. Because I've looked everywhere, and if I found something better, that's where I would have been. And of course, this is the first time I actually Googled it. What book is responsible for more millionaires than any other book that's been written. It is Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. There's a secret inside this book. This is the secret we're going to share with you today. It's this is the most amazing thing you can ever get into. Now, the reason why this book is up there and is the most successful book out there is because Napoleon Hill studied 500 of the world's most successful people. He spent his whole life studying people. He met Henry Ford and Thomas Edison. He was mentored by Andrew Carnegie, the richest man in the world. This is why this book is up there. Now, my story started with this book. This is a very special edition of this book. This is edition from 1963. It's what Al Proctor bought his brother Bob Proctor for his 29th birthday. Now, Bob Proctor studied this book for 60 years. This is how I found out about Think and Grow Rich. This is what Bob Proctor studied. Bob Proctor is considered one of the best teachers in the world on the mind and on success. This was what he went to. As you can see, I actually took a picture of the book, and I took a picture where Al, his brother, signed it. It's there on the left. 1963. That was exactly 60 years ago. Who would have thought that when Al wrote that to Bob, that 60 years later, everyone would still be so intrigued by this story? It's almost 100 years old, this book. So there is a secret to Think and Grow Rich, and part of where he mentions the secret is he says if the significance of this secret could be conveyed to every person who reads it, there would be no need for you to read the remainder of this book. So what he's saying is, if you get the secret to this book, if you get the formula to this book, you actually don't need to read it, as long as you understand the secret. Now, Bob wouldn't tell anyone the secret of this book, because he said if you just tell the secret outright without the story, without understanding it, you probably won't get it. So I really want to tell you the main story of this book and what Napoleon Hill was so intrigued by. So when we talk about purpose and desire, I want to introduce a man to you. This man's name is Edwin C. Barnes. Now, Edwin Barnes didn't know this material. He never studied this material, but he was what we call an unconscious competent. Edwin Barnes had a goal, he had a dream, he had a purpose and a desire to work with and become business partners with Thomas Edison. That was his desire. Now, if you want to go and read this whole chapter, go and get this book. You need to get the book with this particular cover on it. This is the original version of Think and Grow Rich. When you see this cover, when you see the Napoleon Hill Foundation, you know you have the original unedited version. Now, in the introduction, he tells the full story of this, and you can listen to an audiobook. You can get it on Kindle. There's so many ways that the Napoleon Hill Foundation has given you a lot of options to digest this story. But I just want to go into the very specifics of this story and how we can use the same principles to get what we want out of life. So Barnes literally thought himself into partnership with Thomas Edison. This is part of the secret here. Thought himself, Think and Grow Rich. He thought himself into partnership with Thomas Edison. Now, Barnes had two difficulties. These are the two obstacles that Edwin C. Barnes had. He did not know Mr. Edison. Edwin C. Barnes did not know Thomas Edison. Now, he didn't even have enough money to travel to go and see him. He didn't have enough money for even a rail ticket at the time. So he was that poor that he had no money to even travel there. And he didn't know Thomas Edison. He didn't know anyone who worked for Thomas Edison. So how was he going to do this? Now, it says in the book, he finally decided to travel by blind baggage rather than to be defeated. In other words, he went on an actual cargo train. This is what he did. He snuck into a cargo train to travel to Orange, New Jersey, to find Mr. Edison, to just to have the chance to talk to him. Just think about that. So that first obstacle, which most people would have given way to, he never had enough money to get there. He found a way to get there. This is leading up to the secret of Think and Grow Rich. He went there to the train station. He didn't know how he was going to get on the train, but he decided he was going to get on the train. Most people who try to do this, travel by blind baggage, most people who try to do that get caught. But you see, he had this idea that he was going to get on this train. He had this determination. Now, Barnes had nothing to start with except the capacity to know what he wanted and the determination to stand by that desire until he realized it, until it materialized into physical form. He had nothing to start with except the capacity to know what he wanted. My question is, do you know what you want? That's the first step here. Okay, you might have so much more money than Edwin C. Barnes at the time. You might know a lot more people than Edwin C. Barnes knew. You might not have those obstacles, but do you know what you want? Are you very clear about what you want? Do you have the capacity to know what you want? Do you have the determination to stand by your desire until it's realized? You see, he's sharing with you the formula in the introduction of the book straight away. There's no fluff in this. He's telling you straight away what the formula is. Do you know what you want? Do you have the desire? Do you have the determination to stand by your desire instead of getting knocked off by circumstances? Do you have the determination to stand by your desire until you realize it? These are the things that he needed. Now, if he didn't have those things, this wouldn't have happened. But let's move on. Now, when Barnes presented himself at Mr. Edison's office, so he got there by train, he snuck into a cargo train and found his way into Edison's office. He announced to him that he'd come there to go into business with him. He actually told him straight that he was going to go into business with Mr. Edison. Now, this is what Thomas Edison has to say about Edwin C. Barnes. He stood there before me looking like an ordinary tramp, but there was something in the expression of his face which conveyed the impression that he was determined to get what he had come for. Think about that. Thomas Edison could see that there was something about him. There was something about his vibration. There was something about how he felt, something about the expression that he had, which told him that he was determined. That word determination is coming out again. So he intrigued Thomas Edison. That's what he did. I'll read it again. He stood there before me looking like an ordinary tramp, but there was something in the expression of his face which conveyed the impression he was determined to get what he had come there for. Think about that. Now, Barnes, this is what gets interesting here. This is one of the lessons. Barnes did not get his partnership with Edison on his first interview. So Thomas Edison didn't give him that partnership. Barnes did not get his partnership with Edison on his first interview. He did get a chance to work in the Edison offices at a very nominal wage. Think about that. That's what he did. That's what he did get. Now, lesson 1. This is what's explained in the book. When the opportunity came, it appeared in a different form and a different direction than Barnes had expected. And this is what always happens when you have a goal. The opportunity will come in a way that you haven't planned. The universe will actually send you a different opportunity. The opportunity came, it appeared in a different form. You'll get it in a different form and from a different direction. You see? Now, this is one of the main lessons that anyone needs to learn. Those of you who've got a goal, those of you going after a goal, understand it's not going to go according to your plan. There's a better plan. There's another plan. And another way of putting this is you don't have to know how it's going to come about. You don't actually have to know what the plan is going to be. You just need to do those two things that Napoleon's highlighted for us. Have the determination and to know what you want. He never pointed out you've got to know how to get it. That's never been pointed out. What has been pointed out is being very clear on what you do want. That is what's pointed out here. Now, that is one of the tricks of opportunity, one of the tricks, something that seems to trick people. It has a sly habit of slipping in by the back door. And often it comes disguised in the form of misfortune and temporary defeat. You see, Thomas Edison turning down Edwin C. Barnes at this moment could be interpreted as temporary defeat, but there's an opportunity here. There's an opportunity that he's seeing. There's definitely something out of this. And so let's read that again. That is one of the tricks of opportunity. It has a sly habit of slipping in by the back door, and often it comes disguised in the form of misfortune or temporary defeat. Just think about that. temporary defeat or misfortune. You know, W. Clement Stone, who worked with Napoleon Hill, also worked with Don Green of the Napoleon Hill Foundation. He said that he had the habit of saying that's good no matter what happened, because it doesn't matter whatever these misfortunes and temporary defeats are, there's an opportunity behind it. And remember, he's telling us this just in the introduction of Think and Grow Rich. This is what's so amazing about this book. There's so much packed into it. Now, Edwin C. Barnes did not say, I will work there for a few months, and if I get no encouragement, I will quit and get a job somewhere else. He didn't say that. He didn't say, well, he's going to resign himself to the fact that he didn't get this opportunity. That's what he didn't say. What did he say? I will start anywhere. I will do anything. I will start anywhere. I will do anything Edison tells me to do. But before I am through, I will be his associate. Not I may be. I will be his associate when I'm through. That's what he's saying here. Now, he realized it gave him an opportunity to display his merchandise where his intended partner could see it. In other words, Edwin C. Barnes seen this as an opportunity to be around Edison. Remember, one of the obstacles was he didn't know Thomas Edison. This gave him an opportunity to get to know him. You see, it gave me an opportunity to display my merchandise where my intended partner Thomas Edison could see it. Now, this is another very, very important point. Something important was happening in Barnes's mind. He was constantly intensifying his desire to become business associate of Edison. Those of you who've got a coach, those of you who have a goal of joining this industry and teaching this stuff, the more you study this information, the more you're intensifying your desire, because you're in that environment. When you get into the environment of someone who's doing what you do, you're intensifying your desire. You're starting to feel it because you're a part of it. You're a part of the environment of actually being there. So something important was happening in Barnes's mind. He was constantly intensifying his desire to become the business associate of Edison. He was constantly doing that. Now, this is where the opportunity came in. Mr. Edison had just perfected a new office device known at the time as the Edison dictating machine. Now it's called the Ediphone. His salesmen were not enthusiastic about it. You see how he spotted this problem. His salesmen were not enthusiastic about it over the machine at all. They did not believe in it. Now, Edison believed in it, but his salespeople did not believe in it. They did not believe it could be sold without great effort. Now, Barnes saw this opportunity. He saw it. It had crawled in quietly. This is what opportunity does. What did that last statement tell us before about opportunity? It comes in through the back door. Have you got an opportunity right now that's so quiet that you can't see it? This is what this is the great way of studying this book, is when you relate it to yourself. Is there an opportunity right now that's so quiet that you haven't even noticed it yet? It's crawled in quietly through the back door. It had interested no one but Barnes and the inventor Thomas Edison. It hasn't interested anyone, you see. So this is the opportunity that Edwin C. Barnes saw. Now, Barnes knew he could sell the Edison dictating machine. He suggested this to Edison and promptly got his chance. He did sell the machine. In fact, he sold it so successfully that Edison gave him a contract to distribute and market it all over the USA. Out of that business association grew the slogan, made by Edison and installed by Barnes. Just think about that. This is his dream coming to life. Barnes knew he could sell the Edison dictating machine. He suggested this to Edison and promptly got his chance. You see, you don't need a promise, you need a chance. It was like the same way that he climbed onto that cargo train was the same way he got this partnership with Edison. He promptly got his chance. He did sell the machine. In fact, he sold it so successfully that Edison gave him a contract to distribute and market it all over the USA. Out of that business association grew the slogan, made by Edison and installed by Barnes. And I want to show you photographic proof of that. Look at that. The Ediphone, Edwin C. Barnes and Bros. Built by Edison, installed by Barnes. It's right there. Now see that partnership. There's Thomas Edison on the left. There's Edwin C. Barnes on the right. This was all in Edwin C. Barnes' mind. This was an idea in his mind. He had what he knew exactly what he wanted, and he had the determination to stand by it. That's exactly what he did. And that dream manifested into physical form, and those are the two of them together. There's the dictaphone, actually on the left of Edison there. This was a dream that he had, remember, when he didn't even have the money to get the train to get there. And here he is with Thomas Edison. Now, how many people were in Edison's life that wanted to be his business partner? Think about that. How many people wanted this opportunity? But they didn't have the very clear intention of what they wanted, and they didn't have the determination to stand by it. It didn't matter whether they looked like a tramp or not, as Edison would say. It didn't matter whether they had enough money. They might not have had those obstacles, but they never had those two qualities that Edwin C. Barnes had. You see? Now, this is where we talk about purpose. What a different story people would have to tell if they would adopt a definite purpose and stand by that purpose until it had time to become an all-consuming obsession. What a different story you would have to tell if you would stand by a purpose until that purpose became an all-consuming obsession. What a different story you'd have to tell. This is why Edwin C. Barnes can tell this story, because he did that. The people who don't have these types of stories are people who didn't stand by that purpose long enough until it had time to intensify into a burning desire, which is what an obsession is. That's a great quote. What a different story you'd have to tell if you would adopt a definite purpose and stand by that purpose until it had time to become an all-consuming obsession. It's just fantastic. So what is the secret? Okay, here we go. Let's repeat this again. If the significance of these statements could be conveyed to every person who reads it, there would be no need to read the remainder of this book. Are you ready for this? Okay. Thomas Edison said he stood there before me looking like an ordinary tramp. Didn't matter what he looked like. But there was something in the expression of his face which conveyed the impression that he was determined to get what he had come after. Think about that. There was something in the expression of his face. He was exuding it. He was in the vibration of getting what he wanted. I had learned from years of experience with men that when a man really desires a thing so deeply that he's willing to stake his entire future on a single turn of the wheel in order to get it, he is sure to win. He is sure to win. I gave him the opportunity he asked for because I saw he had made up his mind to stand by until he succeeded. Subsequently, events proven that this was no mistake. No mistake was made. Think about that. This is amazing. Just what young Barnes said to Mr. Edison on that occasion was far less important than that which he thought. Edison himself said so. It could not have been the young man's appearance which got him the start in Edison's office, for that was definitely against him. It was what he thought that counted. And that is the secret of Think and Grow Rich. The secret of Think and Grow Rich is we become what we think about. And that's why he said it was the thought that counted. You know, Earl Nightingale phoned up Napoleon Hill one time and said, I found the secret of the book. It's you become what you think about. And Napoleon Hill was like, yes, 100%. Earl Nightingale did a record on it called The Strangest Secret. It came from Think and Grow Rich. We become what we think about. It was the thought that counted. Now, what's the point of studying this? What's the point of it? The thing to understand is that anyone can do this. What Edwin C. Barnes did, he had no genetic advantage of any kind. He just was acting on certain information that if other people had it, they'd also be able to do the same thing. So anyone can do this. That was his dream. What is your dream? That's what we've got to be thinking about, you see. The first step is that he knew exactly what he wanted. So if you know exactly what you want, you're already a step there. You're already a step there when you know exactly what you want. Now, what did I do with this information? Because I had this information since I was 13. I want to tell you where it started with me. Here's a guy, Robert Cole Proctor. I've been studying this guy since I was 13. So when I was 23, I'd been studying him for 10 years. And I decided I was going to work with Bob Proctor. And he knew more about this subject than anything else. He was the biggest student of Napoleon Hill's work than anyone alive right now. 60 years he studied this book every single day. And I made up my mind I was going to work with him. So what were my obstacles? These were my obstacles I had. Now, I was 3,500 miles away. I didn't know Bob either. I didn't know anyone in the company. I didn't know how to run a studio. I wanted to be his studio director, not because I wanted to be a studio director, but because I wanted to have an office next to Bob's office. There was only 2 offices in that studio. One for the guys running the place, and the other one was Bob's office. Now, this job I wanted didn't actually exist either, you see. Now, I have a whole story, and we don't have enough time to go into the story properly, but I will put a link for those of you who want this full story, because me and Bob actually teach it on stage together, and I've got a link for a video for those of you who want this story. But these were my obstacles. I had the same obstacles, you see. And I'll tell you what I did. I got a picture of his studio and I visualized it every single day for 18 months. I visualized walking down his driveway, walking around here where the studio is in the back garden. There's a little gate, a little place called the little place in the back garden through the gate there. And I'd visualize walking down the driveway and down the garden path every single day for 18 months. Now that's all I did. There's a full video describing the steps and the challenges I had getting there. But that's essentially what I did. I was going to think my way to working with Bob Proctor. Now, 18 months later, there I am working with him. I'm working side by side with Bob. Now, it was almost as if I'd gone to heaven, because this guy I'd been watching every day for 10 years, and I'm with him every single day. That was my goal. I thought myself there. When people ask me, what did it feel like when you finally got there? I said, well, it didn't really feel like anything. I was so used to imagining myself there. I was just seeing a really clear HD version of how the studio looked like. I'd been there so many times in my mind. And you'll do this when you get to your goal. There's going to be this little bit of, oh, okay, because you were already there. You're already there in your mind, you see. Now, I worked with Bob for 3.5 years, and he taught me so much, and he took me all over the world, and he took me. He used to bring me on stage and get me to teach my story of how I got there, because he actually mentioned Edwin C. Barnes. I remember we were on stage in LA together, and he said Scott's story and Edwin C. Barnes' stories are so alike. I've got footage of him saying that. I didn't know who Edwin C. Barnes was at the time. But he said the story was so alike. What Bob really got me to do, when he passed away last year, I made up my mind that I was going to study this book every day for 60 years. And just a few months after that, we started something really special. And this is it's probably the best thing that I've ever seen. What we've done so far with the Napoleon Hill Institute, no other company's ever done this before. It's less than a year old, and we've got coaches all over the world. I think we've got over 150 coaches right now. They're teaching Napoleon Hill's information, and we're going back to the source. This is the mentor of the mentor, and this is just one of the best experiences, one of the best companies you can ever be involved in. The story was actually, I'm going to bring her on in a few minutes, but this as I got to know Cleona, when I was working with Bob actually, but when we started to connect and actually start building the Napoleon Hill Institute, we wrote down everything. We wrote down everything on this absolute huge notepad, you could call it. It filled the whole table that I'm sat behind right now. And we wrote down every aspect of what we wanted the company to be like. We wrote down every single thing that we didn't like about some companies and what we'd love to see, and how we just love to give people the information that they need so they can become successful. And this is us actually at the Napoleon Hill Archives. And if you're a coach with us, this is you'll get to come here, with Don Green, who's just a fantastic leader of the foundation. He has preserved all of Napoleon Hill's original writings, all of his letters to Edwin C. Barnes, to Thomas Edison. He's got pictures of him with Andrew Carnegie, and he's preserved everything perfectly in its original form. And it was just like Disneyland when we were going there. Because this is just the information that we absolutely love. And I want to bring on Cleona now just to talk about some of the things that we've done with the institute. And Cleona is going to teach you a lesson here on desire and on purpose, which is it's so fitting. So I want you to there we go. Hey, Cleona.
Hi. Oh my God, this is so good. I'm sitting here full of enthusiasm, listening to your story. Again, I know I've heard it before, but it's just really a true testament to how this material works, Scott. I love it. I love it.
The best thing, Cleona, is that anyone can do it. There's no. I remember Brian Tracy saying there's no chromosome, there's no special gene that anyone's got that no one else has got when it comes to this. You can take the most unlikely person there is, like Edwin C. Barnes was the most unlikely person there is, and then they become successful just because they're doing certain things in a certain way. And that's what we did with Napoleon Hill Institute as well when we were planning it out. So there's so many similarities here which connect so perfectly. It's just amazing. It really is.
It is, because, and for those of you watching, welcome. I'm so grateful to be here. The Napoleon Hill Institute, just to give you a little background, was created by Napoleon Hill and W. Clement Stone. And they worked together for 10 years, and they created the Napoleon Hill Institute. And we brought it back with the amazing Don Green, the foundation, and we had the honor and the privilege to bring it back. And it's a very similar story, because if I think about how did we even do this, we're 7-8 months into bringing back the Institute, and we've become very successful in a very short period of time. We've grown very fast. Sometimes I'm like, do we grow too fast? But it's like we're going to teach today. I operate, and Scott operates, with true burning desire. I don't do things half measure. I don't like it. I think it's a waste of time. It's a waste of life. We're here for a purpose, which we will talk more about. And I had a burning desire, just like Scott, when we worked with Bob Proctor. When he passed, I said, now what? Now what? And I had a goal. I had a secret goal. I don't know if I said it publicly before. I probably did. I'm not sure. But I had a secret goal, and I had a definite chief aim to actually own the company with him and be his business partner, just like Edwin C. Barnes, right? And so when he passed, I'm like, okay, this doesn't make sense. I followed the formula. I know it inside out. I have faith. I followed all the steps. Bob's gone. How is this going to happen? And then we attracted each other, me and Scott. We attracted Don Green, and here we are, created the Napoleon Hill Institute, the fastest growing coaching company in the world. So it all started, just like Edwin C. Barnes, with a true burning desire. And even before we came live here for you today, like, you don't see the behind the scenes. We have children. I have children. I have 2 little kids. I know one of our leaders here, she's got a baby that she's carrying around, Lillian. She's in charge of operations. I mean, you don't see behind the scenes. You don't see the adversity, but we know the formula. We know how this works, and we show up. We show up. We show up because we have a burning desire, and we have a purpose. And that's what we did, Scott. That's how this was all created.
And what's amazing about this whole thing, Cleona, is that I remember I took a break from the self-help industry. I don't know whether I was going to go back into it after what happened with Bob. I made a decision to get back into this industry in September of 2022. Okay. Now, Cleona phones me on the 30th of September. I didn't take any action. And what Cleona was working on with Don Green, with the Napoleon Hill Institute, you couldn't ask for anything more perfect. You know, when you've got a goal and when you've been using this for a while, things will just happen and things will just slide into place. When me and Cleona were starting to build this company, we didn't put any advertisements out. We never advertised for any staff roles at all. The right people turned up at the right time. I mean, one person was even on holiday when when we were over in the Bahamas together at one point doing business meetings. You see, we attracted the right people for the right reason at the right time. You see, now your entire life now, everyone's life, you are all attracting everything that you need for whatever is programmed in your subconscious mind. So if you have problems in your subconscious mind, you're going to attract everything you need to manifest those problems, you see. But this is what's so interesting, Cleona. Start to finish, this has just been us listening to the universe and going with the flow. Would you agree with that?
100%. Following our hunches as you study with us, as you really dive deep into the principles. And I don't care if you've read the book before and if the right book is the one Scott showed earlier, make sure you only get that one. It doesn't matter. You don't, unless the results in your life are what you want in all areas of your life, you need to keep studying. There's more growth involved. There's more awareness involved. And it all goes back to attitude, I believe, Scott. It starts with positive mental attitude. And that's what you have, Scott. No matter what's going on, you keep, Scott, I always make a joke because me and Scott laugh a lot. We giggle a lot. We were laughing this morning when the 3 wasps came in here. And we were laughing about them like, this is adversity. There's 3 wasps here trying to have a dance with me. But we laugh a lot. This is a positive mental attitude. My internet wasn't working. I'm like, I don't care. I will find a way. I'm showing up today no matter what. My lights went out. I'm like, there has to be a way, because I just moved home and I'm literally surrounded in boxes. But this is, I asked for this. I asked for the new beautiful home. And so here we are, adversity comes along, and we keep a positive mental attitude no matter what. And that's what you're great at, Scott. You're really great at it.
And what I've learned about you as well, Cleona, because I mean, we could tell a million different stories about the whole year that has happened from building this company. And what I really learned, Cleona, was that idea about the purpose, being on purpose, is what causes you to persist. You see, persistence is actually an effect. It's not a cause, you see. And the reason why you're so persistent and I've been so persistent is this purpose and this vision and this desire to build this company. And that's what, and I believe without that, none of what you just said was going to be true. I think that James Allen said that without a purpose, you fall prey to petty worries. You see, now if you are falling prey to petty worries, that's because you've not got that purpose or desire. It's not a genetic thing. You see, it's just having that. It's just knowing that information and having that in place.
Yes. I hope you wrote that down. Can you repeat that one more time for everyone? That's so important.
Well, okay, so you fall prey to petty worries and you get distracted when you don't have a purpose, you see? Now, everything that Cleona shared with you about all the times, like there's so many stories, so many problems have happened in the company, like happens in life. But the reason we persisted is because number 1 of the purpose and number 2 of the desire. And that's what we're teaching today, purpose and desire. Now, if me and Cleona didn't have that purpose and desire, we wouldn't have persisted. Persistence is an effect that comes through having that desire and purpose. It really is that simple. It really is.
That's right. That's right, Scott. So let's talk about the riches that Scott was touching upon. Think and grow rich. Most people say, okay, it's just money. Well, it's not. And I love this quote by Napoleon Hill. He says, when riches begin to come, They come so quickly in such great abundance, that one wonders where they have been hiding during all those lean years. And I remember our late mentor, Bob, said this quote time and time again, and I held on to it because I had no money. I came from poverty. And I said, you know what? I'm going to believe this quote. I didn't know at the time it came from Napoleon Hill, funny enough. I thought it was Bob's quote. But I said, I'm going to hold on to this. This sounds like something I want to believe. When riches begin to come, they come so quickly in great abundance that one wonders where they've been hiding during all those lean years. Now, for any of you out there, my friends, if the bank account or other areas of your life is not the way you want it, I want to invite you to hold on to this quote because it's true. I have evidence in my life that it's true. And so does Scott, and so does many of our clients. They can tell you their stories, remarkable stories, huge transformations. So hold on to this, my friend. There may be somebody out here, one person, there's one woman, Mary, whoever you are. I just thought of the name Mary because there's a Mary out there watching, and she's struggling, or you're struggling. I just reach across to you through the internet today, and I'm telling you, hold on to this quote, because when they come, you will wonder where they were always hiding. When you follow these principles, when you study with us, your life will transform. That's a promise. If you do exactly what we teach you, your life will transform. Napoleon Hill gave us the formula. We are blessed. We are blessed. We've been handed a success formula. Now, it's up to us. What do we want to do about it? So there are 12 riches in life. Most people think it's just money. It's not. One is what we touched upon, a positive mental attitude. Number 2, sound physical health. There's no point going through life if we don't have a sound physical health, and our body is not in good shape. We're not taking care of our body. Number 3, harmony in all relationships. Number 4, this is my favorite. This is Cleona's favorite, freedom from fear. This is my number 1 of these 12 riches, is that I have freedom from fear. I'm not afraid anymore, no matter what's going on. And I want that for you. I want that for the whole world, as a matter of fact. Freedom from fear. Number 5 is the hope of achievement. Number 6 is a capacity for faith. Remember, the opposite of fear is faith. When you live in faith, everything changes. Okay? Number 7 is a willingness to share one's blessings, which is a close second for me. What's the point in getting rich financially? What's the point in acquiring all this material wealth? And not just material wealth, the knowledge, the understanding that I've gotten from Napoleon's teachings. I want you to understand one of the psychic income is sharing these blessings with others. There's no greater feeling in the world. Number 8 is a labor of love. Why work at a place that you're not loving? Why are you wasting your time? A labor of love, doing something that you love. I love doing this. I love working with our team. I love this material. I get to study every day as part of my labor of love. I get to grow every day as part of my labor of love. And I promise you, because I have been there, I did not believe this. I did not believe that you could work or have a business that you loved every day. I thought it had to be hard. It's not true. It's not true. So that's number 8. Number 9, open mind on all subjects. You must be open-minded. Do not be closed-minded. Number 10, self-discipline, which means you have a higher level of awareness. We'll talk about that tomorrow. I'm going to teach you about the 7 levels of awareness. self-discipline, discipline in our thoughts, and we'll talk further tomorrow. Number 11, the capacity to understand people. We must have empathy. We must understand people, where they're coming from, their story, and why they do the things they do and the things they say. Number 12, financial security. So as you can see, financial security was at the bottom of the list. Isn't that interesting? So these are the 12 riches you may enjoy as you learn these principles. And when I say learn, I mean apply them in your life. And how do we do that? It takes the very first step is to create the new model. You as a new model. Even if you've been studying this for years, I encourage you, I invite you to decide to create the new model today. Every day you will commit to this new model. And I love this quote by Buckminster Fuller. He says, "You never change things by fighting the existing reality. To change something, you must build a new model that makes the existing model obsolete." When you find yourself fighting the existing reality, whatever's going on around you in your life through your 5 senses, whatever you're hearing, whatever you're seeing, you may not be enjoying what you're reading or seeing or hearing on the news. You cannot focus on that existing reality. You must redirect your focus to the new model of you. And I love that. That's the first step to transformation, is create the new model and stay loyal to this new model of you, this higher version of you that's screaming to get out, this higher self. This version of me was different 3 years ago, 5 years ago. And 2 years from now, when you see me, I'll be different again, because I'm constantly upgrading myself to the new model on purpose. You see, I believe we are a soul in a physical body. And I believe that our soul was sent to earth with purpose, a definiteness of purpose. And I love this scroll by Napoleon Hill. It says, "Definiteness of purpose is the starting point of all achievement. Don't be like a ship without a rudder, powerless and directionless. Decide what you want, find out how to get it, and then take action, daily action, towards achieving your goal. You will get exactly and only what you ask and work for." And pay attention to that. You'll get exactly what you ask and work for. Make up your mind today what it is that you want, and then start today to go after it. Do it now. W. Clement Stone, I love you, man. This is one of his books too, Believe and Achieve. This was W. Clement Stone's, one of his most famous quotes, "Do it now. Do it now." And there's other people in the industry using that quote, but it was W. Clement Stone, Napoleon's partner. So successful people move on their own initiative before they know where they are going before they start. Pay attention to that. Successful people move on their own initiative, but they know where they're going before they start. They know where they're going before they start. So everything I've done in my life, I just made a decision and I got moving. I made so many mistakes. I'm still making mistakes. This is not a glamorous story of, oh, I found the secret and everything's perfect. No, this is a roller coaster ride. I move with the ocean of life, but it's part of the journey because it makes us stronger. One of my favorite examples of Napoleon's work in action was when Bruce Lee, he wrote out his definite chief aim. This is the actual copy right here on the screen. Isn't this amazing? And so Bruce Lee studied Napoleon Hill, And he made up his mind. This is what he wrote. This is exactly what he wrote on his card. Okay. I, Bruce Lee, will be the first highest paid Oriental superstar in the United States. In return, I will give the most exciting performances and render the best quality in the capacity of an actor. Starting 1970, I will achieve world fame, and from then onward till the end of 1980, 10 years, I will have in my possession $10 million. And this is so important, okay? We're going to break this down, and you're going to have an assignment to do afterwards. I will live the way I please and achieve inner harmony and happiness. These words cast spells, whether you believe it or not, okay? Whatever words you're declaring, you're telling your subconscious mind, because your subconscious mind is responsible for over 95% of your behavior, your actions, and therefore your results. Your subconscious mind is listening to you all day long. Whatever you're saying, you're casting a spell on your subconscious mind, on yourself. You don't have to believe that yet, but as you study with us, you will find out your words have so much power. And I love that he added that line at the end. And I tell all of our clients to do the same. He said, I will live the way I please and achieve inner harmony and happiness. So he was declaring, it doesn't matter if you achieve being this world-class superstar with $10 million in the bank. If you're not happy and you're not enjoying your life and you're not living in freedom and the way you please, why would it matter? I know so many people that are wealthy and they're miserable. They're miserable, okay? So I really, when you're doing this assignment now, I'm going to give you an assignment in a few minutes here. I want you to add that line, all of you watching this. Add that line, I will live the way I please and achieve inner harmony and happiness. And watch what happens. Watch what happens. So the definite chief aim, this is a commitment. Okay, it's not a wish, a want, or a hope. It's called a commitment. And this commitment is to bring forth an outcome that will cause you to grow and transform. This is what he did. Bruce Lee did the same as Edwin C. Barnes, as I did, as Scott did, as our clients are, our coaches, everybody. We make a commitment that this I will do no matter what. Do you have that determination? Do you have it? Or are you still playing small down here, afraid of what other people will think of you? That's not a commitment. The only way to change your life and receive any of the 12 riches is to make a firm commitment. Commit. Make a decision. We're going to talk about decision, I believe, on Friday. Make a commitment. This is a creative process. It's supposed to say creative process. I created these slides. This is a creative process that causes you to grow. Goals are not to get. Goals are to grow. Why? Why is that? As I said, you came here with a purpose, a definite major purpose. These goals are the stepping stones, the breadcrumbs, the treasure map. Each goal brings you to the next step, the next stage of living and fulfilling your definite major purpose on earth. And I don't care if you believe me or not. I know for a fact it's true. I've studied this. I've tested it inside out. We are here with a divine purpose. These goals are so that you grow into this greater, newer version of you. That's what he did. Bruce Lee did it. He made the decision first and he committed. He wasn't this man that he had to become to achieve those goals. When you grow, you're starting to move into self-realization, self-fulfillment. You're going to feel so good about yourself. Now, what does it take? It takes a burning desire. What is a burning desire? In my opinion, a burning desire is a success consciousness. A success consciousness. These are the people like Edwin C. Barnes, Napoleon Hill, Andrew Carnegie, all of the greats. And it takes someone that makes a decision to have more, do more, be more, help more, serve more. Don't just go through life, 9-to-5 job, go home, take a vacation once or twice a year. What kind of life is that? Who are we contributing to? How are we growing? It takes a success consciousness. When you wake up in the morning with a burning desire to help others, to serve more, do more, you will start to radiate and magnetize to you. You will magnetize your mind with an intense desire for the 12 riches. But it starts with the decision. And number 2, a success consciousness gives a vibe of value and enthusiasm. What does that mean? Have you ever met someone very successful and they just give a vibe off, this vibration of, and what's happening is that person is giving value into the universe, into their family, into their community. You can feel it from them. They're enthusiastic. When they walk into the room, you can feel that vibration from them. It's because they have a success consciousness. They're obsessed. They have a burning desire. You can feel it. When you have a burning desire, you will start magnetizing through the law of attraction and the magnetizing the opportunities and the people based on your dominating thoughts. What did Scott tell you today? All he kept doing was thinking about working for Bob Proctor. All he did was visualize it, feel it, see it, and he magnetized the opportunity, just like I did when I magnetized the opportunity to work with Don Green and the Napoleon Hill Foundation. When you have a burning desire to win, you can choose from the 12 riches. How do you create a burning desire? I always tell our clients, think of why do you want it? Why do you want this goal? Think about all the people that it will help and impact. Get emotionally involved with your why. This helps me create a burning desire. Most of you watching this, I'm sure over 90% of you, your goals is really, if you dig down to the heart of your goals and your definite chief aim that you're going to create today, you're doing this because you want to serve others. You want to give to your family, your children, your community, that charity that you love. Over 90% of you, I guarantee that's your why. I know that because I know that we're here to serve. And we're here to serve our gifts and our talents in a big way. And we're here to serve each other. You and I are here to serve each other. So go deep into why you want this. Your soul is guiding you. Your higher self is guiding you. That's how you create a burning desire. And it must be the correct chief aim or goal. It must be correct or it won't light a fire in you. If you have a goal, I coach so many people. If they don't have a burning desire, it's usually because they don't have the right goal. They have a goal that their husband wants for them. They have a goal that they think their family would be pleased about. Do you know how many people are on this planet living for others and they'll never carry out their purpose? For me, that makes me even want to shed a tear at that thought. That people will go through life right till their grave and they will live somebody else's goal and dream. This is a mistake. It has to be the right goal. It has to come from you. Your soul is guiding you. And the next step is to burn the boats. Burn the boats when you have a goal and you have your definite chief aim. Burn all the boats behind you. Cut off all sources of escape, excuses, alibis, sometimes people, if they're not supporting you. Burn the boats. This is what it took for Edwin C. Barnes. This is what it took for Napoleon to get to creating this book that he left for us, and millions of people are benefiting from it. And there will be billions by the time I'm done with it. There will be billions of people knowing about Think and Grow Rich, and they will be living with the 12 riches. So burn the boats. Your soul is depending on you. Your soul and your purpose is depending on you. When you have a true burning desire, it creates what's called a winning mentality. I'm a winner. You're a winner. You will have a winning mentality. And no matter what attitude, I love talking about this because one of the things I do notice about myself, and today actually, this inner conversation that we have all day long, today I actually congratulated myself. I said, you know what, Cleona, you're doing a good job. Through all the adversity, through all the things that's going on in my life that you don't even know, I get up and I show up. I show up every day. You know why? Because I have a no matter what attitude. No matter what, I'm showing up. No matter what is going on in my life, I'm showing up. Why? Because I have a calling, I have a purpose. And I'm not going to go through my life and not fulfill the best that I can. So you watching this, I don't care how long you've been studying this, I want you to decide and claim for yourself today that you have a no matter what attitude. No matter what, no matter what. And this is what I tell myself when I was going through this. I'm going through a divorce right now. I have a no matter what, it's okay. It's this inner conversation. No matter what's going on, I keep a positive mental attitude, okay? No matter what you're going through, the inner conversation will guide you, okay? The next point is read the vibe of successful people. Now, what is the vibe? The vibration. What is vibration? Conscious awareness of feeling. So feeling is conscious awareness of vibration, actually. So when you meet someone very successful, feel the vibration. You'll feel it. You will see. And what is the feeling? Where did the feeling come from? What are their dominating thoughts? When you meet somebody very successful, they usually have powerful thoughts, and you will feel it through their vibration. Success consciousness gives a vibration of value, enthusiasm, there's the no matter what attitude, confidence. It's how they think and they feel about themselves and life. It's all perception. And this is what you can do with a positive mental attitude and a no matter what attitude. You will start to magnetize to you opportunities, people, based on what your dominating thoughts and vibration is. So what are you thinking about all day long? I can go and I can marinate at night, because at night, whatever you're thinking about before you go to sleep, you better get ready, because you're going to marinate and your subconscious is going to marinate in it. What are you saturating your subconscious mind with? Are you aware of your inner conversation or even your outer conversation and your thoughts? You will magnetize to you opportunities based on your dominating thoughts and vibration. This is what Scott told you at the beginning. What are your dominating thoughts? Is it poor me? I don't have this. Is it lack and limitation and scarcity mindset? Because you will attract that to you. Or is it, you know what? A no matter what attitude. I got this no matter what. I don't know how I'm going to do this, but I got this no matter what. I have faith. What I want is moving into form no matter what. This is what I do all day long. And I'm sure that Edwin C. Barnes did something similar with his inner conversation. I just love the no matter what attitude. And I want you to adopt that starting today. Make a decision that you're going to adopt a no matter what attitude. That's holding on to a burning desire and a definiteness of purpose. This is how you do it. So we're going to give you a little assignment, okay? And this is a very important assignment. If you've done it before, do it again, because there's a form that we're going to send you out a form to fill out, and you're going to fill out the 6 steps of your definite chief aim. Okay, we've broken it down for you, just like Bruce Lee did. And you'll fill this out. We're going to look at it on the back end here. I'm going to look at it, Scott, our team. We're all going to look at what you filled out. This is our first step with a no matter what attitude. I want you to fill that out today. And also we'll put it in the Facebook group. If Scott, you want to come back up here, and if we have a form, we can share and show you what it looks like. Otherwise, tag us at the Napoleon Hill Institute on Facebook. Once you've finished the form, tag us on the Facebook. Or if you fill out the form online, you're going to get it through email. I guess you're going to get it through Facebook. Our team will tell you right here how to do it. But let's come away from today's session with a new decision, a new attitude of mind. I promise you, I give you my word, these 12 riches are yours to enjoy if you do the work. And I look forward to seeing you all tomorrow. And I look forward to seeing all of your forms that you're going to submit tonight. I'm going to go through them. And I can't wait to see what your goals are. This is the starting point to something magnificent. Hey, Scott.
Cleona, this has been amazing. You know, Cleona shared a really big secret, something that you never really hear, even in this industry, is that writing down the why generates the burning desire. The only reason you do something is because there's a reason for doing it. You know, the reasons are the roots of the tree, and the why you are doing it, that gives you the reason to do it. If you don't have a reason for your goal, if you don't know why, you're not going to do it. And it's such a perfect, simple way of putting it, Cleona, that it just changes everything for everyone as soon as they just learn that little piece of information. I thought it was amazing.
Yes, I agree. Most people don't talk about it. Say, well, how do you create that? How do you create a burning desire? Think about why. Think about why. And do you agree with me, Scott? Over 90% of the time, it's usually not for you. It's because you want to have so you can give to others.
100%. And 90% of the time, we're actually going after things that other people want us to go after. And one of our exercises over at Napoleon Hill Institute, we tell everyone to go back to when you were a child. What did you love to do? Just think about it. Let your imagination go there. You'll actually discover what you do in your spare time is what you were meant to do. What you were doing as a child is what you were meant to do. What I love to do, Clea, and I love to destroy my toys. I used to take my toys apart with a screwdriver. I was so obsessed with figuring out how everything worked.
Mm-hmm.
And then when I watched The Secret and found out there was this whole law of attraction, there's dedicated people who have written books to show you how to become successful. If no one in my family or none of my friends knew how to become successful, but there's people out there that would teach you how to do it. I didn't know that. I found it at a young age, you see. And this is what the absolute pinnacle of figuring how stuff works is figuring out the laws of the universe, the laws of success.
Mm-hmm.
You see, it's so brilliant. I just love this. Yeah,
we're very blessed because there's only 5% of the population that really knows this. and that breaks my heart. Just like you, Scott, I grew up in Northern Ireland. I didn't know what personal development was. There was no such thing, and no one had ever heard of anything like this over there, right? And so for those of you that are really tapping into what is my purpose, your purpose is to serve your gifts and talents. You say, okay, but how do I know my gifts and talents? Your gifts and talents are linked to what you love to do and what you're great at. What are you great at? Go have a good talk to yourself. Go in the mirror, get away from everybody, and just really have that inner dialogue and say, what do I love to do? What lights me up? Because I remember, Scott, when I went on this journey, I'm like, what is my purpose? I kept asking and praying and saying, God, tell me what my purpose is. And I kept hearing, go serve, go serve. And I'm like, but what am I going to serve? Do you know what I did? That's why I created a service center, a customer service center. Yeah. So I thought it was to create customer service. But then I realized with my customer service call center, I was so in love with personal growth, and I was more interested in my staff growing and my team growing than I was the customer service business. So really tap into, what are you great at? What lights you up? What energizes you when you think about it, when you talk about it? You could talk about it for days. This is in alignment with your gifts and your talents. This is what you're supposed to be doing. Okay. So Scott, let's bring it in for a landing. We're coming back tomorrow, same time, same place. Is that correct?
100%. Yeah, we've got Dan Matthews tomorrow, who's just an amazing teacher. We also have Adora in a few hours. I think Adora's on at 3 p.m. Yeah. Adora's amazing. Adora needs no introduction. As soon as you see Adora, you know who she is. But that's coming up at 3 p.m.
We're going to call her the Queen of Enthusiasm. Adora is now the president of the U.S. division for the Napoleon Hill Institute. She's been around Napoleon Hill's work for over 20 years, and she is the Queen of Enthusiasm. So she's coming up at what time?
3 p.m. Eastern time. Yeah. That's when you'll catch Adora.
All right. Catch Adora at 3 p.m. I look forward to seeing you all again tomorrow. Dan Matthews is a scientist. He's going to break down the science behind how thoughts become things. I want to thank you all for joining us today, and I'll see you all tomorrow. Thank you, Scott.
Thanks, everyone. Thanks, Cleona.
Do you feel it?
And thank you, Lillian.
In the air, the trees, the earth. There is an awakening, a calling, a movement. It is your time. Remember who you are. Join us back to the source.
I will give you the master key with which you may open the door to the attainment of your desires, whatever they may be.
So I came to find that family, that tribe, and I absolutely found it, and I'm just thrilled because it's just the start. The seed's kind of just been sown and it's just sprouted.
It's just a starting point, a spark of something great that's going to impact the world globally. And I'm so grateful to be a part of this event because it's historical. We've had many organizations and institutes before, but it's something different and special about this one.
Everybody was just greeted with such open arms and with such great heart. The event, the things that we did, the activities we did, the meditations and the self-improvement mantras were just fabulous. It's life-altering, truly is.
The energy was high. It was incredible to meet the people that I'd seen on Zoom. And so it's just lived beyond my expectations.
I am in NHI because I believe in serving people and changing millions and billions of lives.
It was more than I anticipated, but beyond what I expected.
I love this material, Think and Grow Rich. I love coaching, and I want to serve people with this information.
And I've been studying Napoleon Hill's Laws of Success. I've listened to the Think and Grow Rich original movie where he comes on and he's, how do you do? You know, I've watched it time and time again. And so to see all of this manifest into this moment, to where we are the first people in over 120 years to have access to Andrew Carnegie's library, in addition to the events and all of the enrichment and the energy, the pure energy and the joy that you see of the people that are here is nothing short of a magnificent romantic fantasy.
If you are considering joining a program where you get to learn how to affect someone else's life, like if that's a calling that you have inside of you, like if you feel that and you want to go out into the world and you want to actually go, I can help you, right? I've been through the trials and tribulations of growing myself and becoming the best version of me, and I'm still working on it every day. If you want that, like if that's a calling that you feel deep inside of who you are, if that's a calling that you feel, there is absolutely no better institution than the Napoleon Hill Institute to help you get to that next level. They are holding the keys to the Pandora's box of possibility, and it is going to be a tremendous journey. And if that is your calling, like if that's what people are after, then this is the exact right place at the exact right time for them to take it to a whole new level.
We are on a mission to transform lives all over the world. We're operating from a heart of service. We're operating from a heart with integrity. And we know that Napoleon Hill's material works.